and welcome back to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. I'm Allison Donnelly, and today is Monday, January 21st. It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And we have these stories. Temperatures are expected to dip to the single digits again tonight with an unexpected low of 9 degrees. The cold snap is attributed to an irregular but not uncommon pattern in the polar vortex, which is the normal circulation of high-altitude winds at both poles. The shift causes Arctic cold to dip down, affecting at times both North America and Europe. Relief will come tomorrow with an expected high temperature of 30 degrees. The Maryland Department of Agriculture has announced the establishment of the Maryland Industrial Hemp Research Pilot Program. This is a program that will authorize and facilitate the research and several other aspects of producing hemp as an industrial or commercial product. Farmers will partner with educational institutions to grow hemp under a research program and will be able to sell their crop for a profit at the end of the grow season. This does not allow farmers to grow hemp outside of this program. Details of this program are available at the Maryland Department of Agriculture website. This week, the Cecil County Public Library will present the design of the new Northeast Library. The design reveal, as it is called, will be held at Northeast Town Hall on Tuesday with an open house from 4 to 6 p.m., followed by an architect presentation at 7:30 p.m. The architect presentation will be held again on Wednesday at 7 p.m. We'll be back after these messages.
The Cecil Land Trust promotes partnerships that are focused on conservation and protecting all aspects of our environment. We support farmers using sustainable practices and provide conservation initiatives like stream restoration and land preservation. Through partnership, we educate and promote the economic importance of sustainable local food production and agritourism to our region. Together, we can celebrate the gift of good land by eating locally. From organic vegetables at Flying Plow Farm and Priapi Gardens, to the grass-fed beef at Stafford Farm, the lamb at Arley Farm, Heritage Hill, and dairy products from Kilby Farms, eggs from Stoffless, and cuisine from Rumbleway Farm. We like to toast with a beer from Fire Tower Brewery and finish with a treat from Stoffless Farm Bakery. Help us celebrate what the land provides and those who make Cecil County their home. Show us your support by buying local products, attending an event, or doing your part to protect our good land.
Welcome back to 30 at 6. We have a great show tonight, Rob.
Yes, we do, and I'm glad to be inside because it was cold.
I know.
Still is cold.
I know. I didn't go outside all day. Not even once.
I went out to get firewood, bring it in the house, and fill that stove up. I'm telling you.
Okay. That was probably worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we do have a good show. I'm looking forward to hearing about this Scottish dinner they're having at Fair Hill at the Ed Walls building.
Yeah, that's this Friday at 6 p.m. at the Ed Walls building at the Fair Hill Fairgrounds. And tickets are still available.
The cook is going to be with us tonight, the chef?
Yes, yeah. Robin Way is from Rumbleway Farms. She is the menu planner and head chef. So she will be on the show tonight to talk to us all about her menu and just she'll talk a lot about the specific foods that she has put together for us, and I'm really excited for the interview and for the dinner. And then we also have Richard Starr, who's the county's new economic development coordinator, so he'll talk to us about what that means and his vision for his new job.
Well, that's good, because we need to... I enjoyed when Dr. McCarthy was talking about the growth zone, because I'm right on the other side of the growth zone, so let it all stay down there, and I'll stay in the woods. That's good.
Right. So we have a good neighbor this week to talk about.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know about this website? It's called Nextdoor.
I see my eyes glaze over.
Yeah.
No.
So it's this website where, depending on where you live, it's like hyper-local information based on your neighborhood and your surrounding communities. Anyway, I noticed that this woman named Kimberly Strauss posted on Nextdoor Calvert. She lives in Rising Sun. She is offering a free carton of eggs for any government employees who are furloughed. And I thought that was just a really nice thing to offer. She said she knows it's not much, but they're the freshest eggs you can get because she has chickens, and that she would meet you in the Martin's shopping center in Rising Sun if you wanted to get some eggs. So I thought that was a really nice thing to offer for people who are going through a tough time.
And there's going to be a lot more hungry people if we don't get this straightened out.
Yeah, that's very true. And then another social media thing I have to ask you about, Rob, is if you've heard of the 10-year challenge.
Of course I've heard of the 10-year challenge. I consulted with my guru when you reached out to me and said, sent a picture in from 10 years ago, right?
Right. Yeah, so I noticed that all over social media people are doing this 10-year challenge where they share a picture of themselves now and a picture of themselves 10 years ago. And I guess the idea is to show the progress you've made or haven't made, or I'm not sure. But it got me thinking that 10 years ago, this year, I was getting ready to graduate from high school. So I looked like an Oompa Loompa because I was still using the tanning bed. So I have stopped doing that.
The tanning bed?
Yes.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Why?
Well, 10 years ago, I was in Hawaii.
Oh, yes.
And soaking up the rays and running on the beach and doing all the stuff that young people do, you know, body surfing and all that.
Because you were in your you were in your early 20s 10 years ago?
Yeah. It's been a long 10 years. Okay, I don't do any of that anymore. But I did consult with my guru, which is my daughter, and she advised me, sensitive person as she is, that people shouldn't focus on the superficialities of 10 years ago and like, oh, I'm older, I've lost more hair, I'm fat or whatever.
Yeah.
Think about the spiritual growth that you've made in the past 10 years.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think you're still living your best life, Rob.
Well, great. And I've grown spiritually ever since I stopped working and started working for Cecil TV.
That's great.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Charles. For 30 years, I have been practicing functional medicine and gentle chiropractic. Elkton Chiropractic Neurology is dedicated to enhancing whole-body rejuvenation, whether or not you are afflicted with injury or disease. We utilize a structural, neurologic, metabolic, nutritional, and energetic approach to restoring your body to its full potential.
After coming to Dr. Charles, I'm better than I was before.
You deserve to feel good and to have an active lifestyle, so why not call Elkton Chiropractic Neurology today?
Oh no, the furnace is on the fritz again.
This time I'm calling the moon man.
Wow, he's here already?
At your service. There you go. Mission accomplished. Our house is nice and warm again. Thanks, Moon Man.
You're awesome.
You're welcome. Just go to moonairinc.com.
For out of this world service, moonairinc.com.
Welcome back to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. Tonight we have Richard Starr. He's one of the newest members of the Cecil County Office of Economic Development. He's the Economic Development Coordinator. Thanks so much for being here.
How do you do? Nice to meet you. Nice to be here. Nice to meet you regarding that. Sorry. That's a smooth start.
What does it mean to be the Economic Development Coordinator?
Oh, okay. So the honest response to that is we're sort of still discovering that.
Okay.
However, my primary role really is that I should be the first point of contact for businesses that are coming to the county, businesses that want to expand. They really want me to be the first person that, sort of starts the relationship. Obviously, there's other people in the department who get involved depending on what those businesses' needs are, but I'm sort of the first hurdle, well, hopefully not a hurdle, the first gatekeeper to talk to them and start building a relationship with them.
Okay, so given that you're still figuring out how to define the role, but you must have a vision, I think, for your own.
When I say and that's a good question. When I say we're still sort of discovering it on the specific side. So, for example, there's all kinds of committees and task forces and whatnot from Aberdeen Proving Ground, on through Elkton. And certainly Chris is going to want me to take on some of those things.
And that's Chris Moyer.
Chris Moyer, the director. Now, we haven't exactly decided how to make that happen yet. So that's the part of it that's sort of, well, I don't know, exactly how that's going to come to pass.
Right.
in the meantime, you know, our vision is we really want to get out and meet all the business leaders. So, you know, I before this started, I mentioned, you know, tomorrow I have to put on a suit. We're going out to start and meet some business clients tomorrow afternoon. Sandra Edwards and I. We have a joint meeting actually with Alan Sexton from Susquehanna Workforce Network. So one of our goals is just to get out and meet business owners, particularly ones we haven't talked to in a while. What's going well, what's not going well, what are the challenges you're facing, and you know, how can we bring resources that the county and perhaps even the state, how can we bring those resources to bear to help to, you know, grow their business or make things go smoothly or open opportunities for them.
So looking back a little bit, you had quite a career before you arrived in the Office of Economic Development. What experiences do you feel you bring to the table?
That's a good question. Yes, I've worked in a lot of different industries, insurance, banking. I ran a school for a while, and the one thing that that I did learn is that all, I think, of our careers, all of our work, are relationship dependent. It's about building relationships with people. Whether you're a teacher or an administrator or a salesman or an account executive or what have you, it's about building relationships with clients. Understanding their business, understanding them as individuals, what are their values, what are their goals. You know, it's very tempting to think that businesses are all about, you know, growing revenue and this or that, but you know, very often it's about preserving a business that maybe their father left them, or passing their business on to the next generation, or they really want to make an impact in a certain industry. So it's very important to build relationships with those people, and that's certainly a great skill set that I have, and I like to think that's what I'm bringing to the table. You know, I've been very fortunate to work in a lot of different industries. So in commercial insurance, I did a lot of work with construction projects and companies. When I worked for the bank, we did a lot in government banking group and nonprofits. I have, you know, managed a school in education. I run a nonprofit. So, you know, I'm fairly familiar with most of the average challenges that are going to come up for a business owner. And I think it's important to have that because it helps you think about what can we do for this person. Right. You know, is there a solution out there, and what might it look like?
Looking ahead from an economic development standpoint, what do you hope to see in terms of economic development for Cecil County in the next 10 years from now?
So we have a number, you know, we all know of marquee projects, you know, Amazon and Project River and Great Wolf, and there's all kinds of things going on, both in the, you know, countywide and for each municipality. I think one of the things that we really would like to focus on is bringing businesses to Cecil that prospective employees, families want to have here for a living experience. Like one of the, I don't want to say complaints, but some of the feedback you get from people who look at this county is, you don't have a Target. You have to drive to Newark or Aberdeen. And you know, I've lived here for 25 years. That's part of living here. It doesn't bother me, but I guess, you know, like my brother who lives, you know, outside of Media, Pennsylvania, he thinks a 20-minute drive is, oh my goodness. You know, well, you got to drive 20 minutes. You know. So, but it would be nice to bring some of those things, a movie theater, you know, a greater variety of restaurants, those kinds of things. You know, maybe to see in some of the towns some multifamily development along with some commercial development. You know, the sort of storefront walkability thing that you have in towns that's very attractive. You know, I mean, obviously we're not Philadelphia or anything like that, but I would like to focus on those kinds of small businesses that really have an impact on how people feel about living here.
Cecil County is pretty unique in that it is situated right along 95. We're an hour, less than an hour from Philadelphia, less than an hour from Baltimore. But when you look at the economic development that has gone on in other rural-ish counties, I think of Frederick immediately comes to mind. Are there counties, are any of those counties sort of a model for Cecil County, do you think?
That's a good question. I don't, I don't know offhand that we'd say that anybody's a model because, as you say, there's something unique about everything.
Right.
When I last worked in Baltimore, I had a lot of clients in Montgomery County and the area around the D.C. Beltway. Even then, Frederick was starting to become sort of a suburb for those D.C. people because you couldn't touch Montgomery County real estate prices. Well, that's going to have a very different impact on things than, say, Cecil County's location. Yes, we're close to Philadelphia, but we're not going to have people move into Cecil County who work in Philadelphia. I think the greatest thing that we can do is play to the strengths that we have. You know, we do have a rural character. We do have very charming small towns. We do have a lot of great employment opportunities right now. We want to build on those things. I'm getting away from your point. You know, are they a model for us? No, I don't think so. Are there lessons that we can learn from things that they've done right and wrong? Absolutely. I mean, I don't want to go into those things, particularly the wrongly ones, right? You know, criticizing people on my first interview. But you know, of course, there are things that we can and should learn from them. But I don't know that we want to model ourselves on them.
Okay. Richard Starr, Cecil County's new Economic Development Coordinator. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thanks.
The Cecil Land Trust promotes partnerships that are focused on conservation and protecting all aspects of our environment. We support farmers using sustainable practices and provide conservation initiatives like stream restoration and land preservation. Through partnership, we educate and promote the economic importance of sustainable local food production and agritourism to our region. Together, we can celebrate the gift of good land by eating locally. From organic vegetables at Flying Plow Farm and Priapi Gardens, to the grass-fed beef at Stafford Farm, the lamb at Arley Farm, Heritage Hill, and dairy products from Kilby Farms, eggs from Stoffless, and cuisine from Rumbleway Farm. We like to toast with a beer from Fire Tower Brewery, and finish with a treat from Stoffless Farm Bakery. Help us celebrate what the land provides and those who make Cecil County their home. Show us your support by buying local products, attending an event, or doing your part to protect our good land.
Welcome back to 30 at 6. On January 25th, which is this coming Friday, the Cecil Land Trust will hold its second annual Robert Burns Dinner in Fair Hill. We've learned on previous episodes of 30 at 6 that the Burns Dinner is a celebration of the life and poetry of Scottish poet Robert Burns. And the Cecil County dinner in particular is locally sourced. The food will be locally sourced, which is super cool. And here to tell us all about it is Robin Way from Rumbleway Farms.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So you are the menu planner and preparing all of the food for this dinner.
Chief cook and bottle washer, yes. So we've planned the menu around the Robert Burns dinner. Some of the menu is similar to what it was last year, and some of it is recipes that I've found that are Scottish in origin.
Right, so tell us about the menu.
So we are starting off our menu with some appetizer. We're having some smoked salmon. We're having Scotch eggs, which are eggs that are wrapped in sausage and then breaded and fried, which are delicious.
They are delicious.
Some locally sourced cheese. We're then having kakaliki soup, and that's kind of a funny, it's basically chicken soup with leeks and potatoes, but kakaliki soup. And then we're having a nice green salad. And our first dish is we're doing lamb meatballs with a bit of a gravy, and we're doing a beef stew with that. And then the last dish is called colon skink, and it is a haddock dish with cream and potatoes and mushrooms. And then we are having a dish called Rumbledy Thump, which is a traditional Scottish dish where they take turnips and mashed potatoes and they make them mashed and they mix them with cabbage, and then you put cheese on top and you bake it, and it's delicious. It's really, really good. Delicious. Great way to get your veggies in there.
This sounds way better than the Robert Burns dinner I went to last year.
And then the last dish, which is the traditional haggis.
Right, so what is the haggis?
So for haggis, you take organ meat, which would be the heart and the liver and sometimes the tongue, and a little bit of suet, which is just fat, the internal fat. And then you cook that with toasted oats.
Okay.
And then it's typically baked in a goat stomach for this dinner, obviously, for the amount of people,
Right,
I can't bake it all on a goat stomach.
Yes.
We will have the parading of the haggis, so we will parade a haggis through the room. And, of course, they will be doing poetry to that and everything. But folks will be having a non-traditional haggis.
Right, okay. Why is it important, and why is this a great opportunity to showcase locally sourced food?
Well, what better way to have locally sourced food? Is it a community dinner where we're showcasing the local farms, where we're gathering food from them? And it's a shame that it's not a spring or a summer event, that we could do more, because some of it, obviously, it's not the right season for certain things. But it's wonderful that we can source the meat, we can source the chicken, we can source a lot of the cheese, and even some of the vegetables from local farms.
And how long has it taken you to prepare? It seems like a ton of work.
Well, we started a couple weeks ago with getting some of the lamb meatballs done and put in the freezer, and I'm getting the salmon underway, and I've been preparing all this week, slowly getting things ready. Today I got the stuff prepared for the haggis. I'll do that closer to, and then we'll just be progressing along this week.
And it's you and how many other people?
So we're a small farm, small catering. I have just 1 or 2 helpers that help with things, and then I'll be, have a crew help with serving.
Yeah.
So we're doing a buffet. We're doing partially family style, but partially buffet for the evening.
So, can you suggest a couple in your research coming up with the menu? Can you provide any suggestions that are easy to prepare dishes that someone who might be interested in hosting their own Robert Burns dinner might take a stab at?
Well, any kind of a lamb dish, obviously. Any type of lamb. We're doing meatballs just because last year they did a stew, and I wanted to have just a little bit of difference from what the last chefs did to what I'm doing. So any type of lamb, whether it's a lamb stew, lamb meatballs, a lamb roast would be lovely. Typically, you're going to do some type of turnip and potato and cabbage. So I just kind of put them all together, and that's an easy dish. And you can even make a non-traditional haggis at home. Sometimes they stuff them into like sausage skins, and then they boil them that way.
Okay.
That's a nice way to serve it. So it's more like a little sausage. But it's a lot of fun. So any kind of cabbage and turnips and potatoes, like a bubble and squeak or anything like that is fun to do at home.
Great. Yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of stuff
Yeah,
online.
and the internet's great. I mean, you can really source, like you just look up Robert Burns dinner and they'll give you all sorts of ideas for recipes that you can try.
Great. So, as you mentioned to me before the show, there are still tickets available.
Yes.
I thought they might be sold out because last year's dinner was so well attended.
Right.
But there are tickets still available, and you can buy them. I know you can buy them online at the Cecil Land Trust website, or you can call Elisa. Her number is 410-410-3717. And one thing to note is that they won't be able to take credit cards at the door, so if you aren't going to pay ahead of time, you'll need to pay with cash or check at the door. So, Robin, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm really looking forward to
Friday. Can't wait to feed you.
Robin Way from Rumbleway Farms is the menu planner for this year's Robert Burns dinner.
Oh no, the furnace is on the fritz again.
This time I'm calling the moon.
Wow, he's here already?
At your service. There you go. Mission accomplished. Our house is nice and warm again. Thanks, Moon Man.
You're awesome.
You're welcome. Just go to moonairinc.com.
For out of this world service, moonairinc.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Charles. For 30 years, I have been practicing functional medicine and gentle chiropractic. Elkton Chiropractic Neurology is dedicated to enhancing whole body rejuvenation, whether or not you are afflicted with injury or disease. We utilize a structural, neurologic, metabolic, nutritional, and energetic approach to restoring your body to its full potential.
After coming to Dr. Charles, I'm better than I was before.
You deserve to feel good and to have an active lifestyle, so why not call Elkton Chiropractic Neurology today?
Oh, hi, my name's Pete, part-time camera person here for Cecil TV. I'm going to play a song for you here. It's one I wrote. It's called The Time Has Come. And the time has come for us to come in from the dark. And the time has come for us to see. Open your eyes now and don't be afraid. Is there some place you have to be? 'Cause it's not right to live in constant fear of what the future will bring. And it does no one any good to live under a tyrant or a king. We study the past and learn more about the future. But in the end, who really knows? We go out in space and under the deep blue sea, looking for the proof of the hope. I was brought up to believe that the truth is good. I was told that life was fair. I was told the difference between right and wrong. And all I need to do is care. We study the past and learn more about the future. But in the end, who really knows? And we go out in space and under the deep blue sea, looking for the proof of the hope. And there must be a way to make a better world for our children to see. Close your eyes now and come with me. Take your place in my dream. 'Cause we don't know where we're going. We only know where we've been. And we dream of a place where our life is ours, free from corruption and sin.